Hello everyone and welcome back to Two Bros Hot Takes, where we watch a movie and then tell you if you should watch a movie. I am your movie watching host, Older Bro.
I'm your other movie watching host, Younger Bro.
And today we continue in week 3 of the Summer Movie Blockbuster Marathon with The Flash.
And a better way to do hot takes, because we've been explaining the whole movie with the last two.
Yeah, I was telling Younger Bro that, I would like to go back to some of the older style of hot takes, because I really don't like that we basically explained the whole movie from start to finish. And I'm like, I liked when we just started with the cool scenes and just kind of talked about the certain specific scenes, and then you guys could go and experience the context for those scenes.
So, when we hit the spoilers section, I ain't holding nothing back.
Yeah, except the end credits stuff. That will be held to
End credits stuff and end scene stuff will still be saved for the end.
Yeah, so there'll be an even more spoiler section at the end that we won't announce. That we'll just say we're talking about the end credits scene.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
was this a good movie? It was probably one of the best DC movies I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I fully enjoyed it.
We have not seen Shazam 2.
We have not seen Shazam 2.
I plan to watch it at some point this week, so I will get caught up, and I will...
Yeah. Plus, this movie is Flashpoint, unofficial Flashpoint, because it's the Flash movie that they called Flashpoint and then changed the name.
I find it hilarious, because I actually watched a video explaining the movie a little bit more. That way I could explain the video a little bit more. And they did not say that this movie had Flashpoint references from either the comic or the 2013 movie.
How dare you look at outsider sources? But no, seriously.
They don't even go over that.
No,
it's so obvious. Maybe that's why they didn't go over it, because it's so obvious of a reference. But yeah, they didn't say, oh yeah, that's a reference to Flashpoint.
Yeah, I mean, because I think it's just because the concept of Flash going back in time at all is Flashpoint. That's just the definition. But, no.
Anyway, guys. So, yes, there are nods to a lot of different stuff, including Flashpoint.
Yeah. Younger Bro is insistent that you know that this movie about Flash and about talking about going back in time is a reference to Flashpoint.
There's a lot of people that don't know it was a comic first and then a movie in 2013.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But yeah, no, I would definitely say that this movie was better than Morbius. It was an enjoyable movie.
It didn't feel as dark, but when it was dark,
no,
it felt right.
Well, that's the thing. This movie, I think, did a decent job about not having some of the problems of the older movies. In the sense that they're not trying to actively be. Here's the thing with Batman. I had a conversation with friends about, is Batman an edgelord? And the answer I gave was that I don't think that he's an edgelord, because to me, being an edgelord means that you're very specifically trying to be cringe and edgy and trying to post shit about oh, I should just die and stuff like that, being ultra over dramatic. And Batman doesn't intentionally act that way in most situations. He is just edgy as a character because he's Batman. But he isn't specifically an edgelord. But a lot of these older DCEU movies were trying to do that on purpose. The movie was trying to be extremely edgy when it didn't need to be. That's why things like Shazam were a breath of fresh air when they were super colorful. They weren't Marvel, quippy and over the top, happy almost.
But Shazam was pretty damn close.
Yeah, but they were more lighthearted, and the serious moments were serious, and they had darker moments, but they also had lighter moments. So it wasn't just this, everything's in black and white because I'm Batman, and the only thing I have is black and white. So this movie was fit more into that second mold, where it had serious moments, it had things that were a little bit edgier, a little bit harsher than something that would be in Marvel, but it also had lighthearted moments. It wasn't all black, all white. It was nice.
Yes. Really good movie. I think this movie will set the future of the DC franchise.
Now, as one thing, Ezra Miller is in this movie. If you are not happy with Ezra Miller continuing to be in this movie, I understand if you do not want to watch this movie.
Yeah, and I understand too, but I look at the movies for what it is.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I've said the same thing about Michael Jackson's music, but people have constantly gone back and forth about, is Michael Jackson, like, a terrible person, or is he not a terrible person? And I'm just like, I don't give a shit. I listen to his music because it's good music. I don't give a shit. Like, it's like, yeah, if a person does something that's wrong, they should be punished for that thing that is wrong. But they're not doing anything wrong in this movie. So I don't give a crap when I go to watch this movie. I'm watching an actor act. If he did something that's jail-worthy, he should go to jail. I think these things, I'm just saying, I think these things can happen simultaneously. You can say that this movie was good and that Ezra Miller was in it, and not say Ezra Miller was correct in a previous thing.
And as we always state, keep your politics out of our gaming, but this is movie watching, so
keep your politics out of our movies too. But again, that's just the note of, if you have a problem with Ezra Miller and what he did, and you don't want to financially support Ezra Miller in any possible way, I understand if you do not go and watch this movie. That is okay. Do what you want with your money. For the people who don't care, or don't know what's going on with Ezra Miller, or just say, the movie's the movie, and Ezra Miller's Ezra Miller, and I'm going to separate those things out. It's a good movie, you should go watch it.
Yep.
Yeah. There were some, I will say from the music side, there were some songs that they had in this movie that were credited, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I heard, in the moment, I know what that's crediting, but I'm like, I wouldn't have.
But why credit it? It wasn't played in the movie.
Because they wanted to hedge their bets. They don't, like, look, we sing songs sometimes in the movie, and they were like, oh, they're gonna hedge their bets.
We sing songs in our videos.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we sing songs in our videos sometimes,
but we wouldn't.
And so they want to hedge their bets of, like, we're giving you credit. That song is in the movie. Don't sue us. Don't do anything. It's just for safety. So, but there were a lot of those where it's like, okay. But yeah. No, it was a good movie. Characters were all pretty good. It's kind of hard to talk about the characters in this movie without spoilers, so I will not reference the characters other than to say that all the superheroes were good in this movie. They were very enjoyable characters.
All of them were. All of them.
Their motivations made sense. Very enjoyable. So, do we have anything else that's not spoilers that we want to go over before we jump into everything?
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, guys, the spoiler section starts now, so if you don't want to see any spoilers at all, goodbye. Go watch the movie.
Okay, so we're starting off strong. Michael Keaton as fucking Batman was so badass.
Yeah, Michael Keaton as Batman was great. I mean,
every fucking scene was so goddamn good.
This is one of the few times where I'd seen some of the trailers because they played in random spots, and also in the movie theaters over, like, as we watched other movies. So we knew about this going in, and it's something that was like, yeah, absolutely excellent.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, when they go try to save Clark from the Russian holding cell.
Yeah.
Like, that scene.
Okay, one thing I'm not sure of.
Okay.
Did the Soviet Union break up in this universe? Because all the stuff we see is like, they have like the Soviet Star Sputnik rockets, and all the stuff is Soviet tech, which, it could just be Russia maintaining all that Soviet stuff and not rebranding it. But I'm like, did the Cold War actually end in this world?
So,
did the Cold War start in this world? Or was it a hot war?
So, it is possible that might be a reference to one of, like, the newer comics and one of the newer movies that came out for DC. It was about Superman, instead of crashing in the U.S.,
He crashed
in the
Yeah.
Soviet Union.
So, I forget what his name was, but I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, so it could be a reference to that, and the Soviet Union is still in power in this universe.
That's what I was wondering, because I saw that, and I'm like, because they mention Russia once, because it's like, oh, it's in Siberia, which is part of Russia, and it was part of Russia in the Soviet Union, because Siberia is part of the state of Russia. So I was like, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to Russia. But then they show up and it's like, okay, that's a Soviet star. It was a Soviet space program. Soviet missile program.
Yeah, it is.
Is it still the USSR?
It could very well be.
Yeah.
But
it's I honestly expected Barry to ask, like, did the Cold War ever end? I was waiting for him to say, wait, so is the Cold War still happening?
I think, but I don't know if it is. Like, we might be reading too much into it.
We could be. That's the thing. It's like,
but it could just be a secret Soviet lab.
In the same way as, like, there were secret German bases, and, like, isn't that the thing in Marvel where, like, the Red, like, Hydra would still have, they'd still have Nazi tech and stuff in those bases. So it's like, it could be like a Hydra situation. This is a sleeper cell organization or something Russian that just took up all the Soviet stuff and just used the same branding.
I don't know too much about the Soviet Union and the DC universe, so I'm just going to say it could possibly be a nod to that Soviet Superman.
It could be anything.
But, yeah, that was probably Michael Keaton's best scene. When the Batwing came down from the ceiling and it was all old and rickety, I'm like, oh my god, yes!
Well, I mean, Michael Keaton's old and rickety, so...
I know, but just seeing an old torn up Batwing, I'm like, oh, yes.
Yep.
So for starters, guys, in Flashpoint, instead of it being Bruce Wayne, it was actually Bruce's father who was old Batman.
Yeah, exactly. They used because the thing was that his wife and son died and he became Batman.
And I believe they died by the Joker. But
not sure.
Don't remember too much. But in this
it is still
version
Bruce Wayne.
Of Flashpoint, it is still Bruce Wayne, but he's much older.
Yeah.
And I do not believe it is the same universe where Michael Keaton was Batman in his timeline.
Yeah,
I think this is a completely separate
that part
timeline.
It probably is not. I think they just wanted to use the actor because as a nod to the previous one.
Yes.
Hell, I'm sure if they could have gotten Adam West to do it, they would have gotten Adam West to do it.
Yeah,
but for obvious reasons, they can't quite do that.
He's gone. We miss you, Adam West.
We really do. Nobody messes with Adam Wee.
So, yes, every fucking scene that Michael Keaton was in, beautiful.
Beautiful.
He is an excellent Batman, and if he comes back, I will freaking jump for joy.
Well, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but yeah, it'd be interesting.
So, let's talk about that Soviet Union holding cell.
Yeah, giant fucking, what do they call it?
A testicle ball.
It wasn't testicle. They used a different thing. But yeah, basically just a giant testicle in the super deep underground next to a fucking missile silo.
So once again in Flashpoint, that's where Clark Kent Superman is held, and how we see the prisoners pretty much reminiscent of the comic and Flashpoint.
Yep.
So instead of it being Clark, it's Kara.
Yeah. Now,
which was obvious from the trailers as well. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I don't remember the movies well enough. Because they did have a movie. I don't remember if this was in the DCEU or like previous to the DCEU. They had a movie with Supergirl in it. Is this supposed to be the same character, not the same actor, like not the same universe thing? I'm just saying, like, is it supposed to be a situation of like Superman and Supergirl in quotes like Clark, like Kal-El and whatever the other girl's
Kara.
name is. Yeah, Kara. Both were coming as the last two remnants, or the last two survivors. It's just in our universe, only Clark made it.
Okay.
Like,
so to talk a little bit about Supergirl, both Kara and Clark in the main timeline usually are sent out at the same time.
yeah, because I couldn't remember what they did because I remember the movie.
But Kara is the one that usually drifts off into nowhere space, but eventually does come to Earth several years later.
Exactly. Which, so in this situation, they flipped it, except he died.
Yeah, so Clark in this new reality is dead.
Yeah.
Very dead.
Very, very dead. I mean, that hasn't stopped him before, but...
Because Zod killed him.
Yeah. Just... It's not stopped him before, but that doesn't mean it can't stop him, and it won't stop him this time.
So, yeah, that was rough to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, there's just so much to fucking talk about.
Yeah.
This movie.
It was very interesting scene in this movie. I think this movie actually has a completely unique timeline system.
It is
over any other media. I don't think I've ever seen this interpretation of time travel anywhere. Because it's always, you see all those of like the grandfather paradox things of like you go back in time and become your grandfather. Or like you don't stop the events, it's just you become part of the events. Or you change something and then time like gets fucked up and you don't actually change anything because you can't actually change the past because you wouldn't go back to change it if you changed it. Or you make an alternate timeline, which is usually the ones that we see in media.
Yeah, how Michael Keaton explained it is so fucking good.
His was just like, no, you can't change time. Because the multiverse exists and all points in time already exist. You're not making new timelines by choosing events. You're picking which path of time you follow. And by going back and picking, like making a change, you're just jumping onto a different timeline. You don't change anything. It's like, it was excellent.
I also love that scene where he threw a frying pan at the Fast Flash and started hitting the Arbery with every other thing.
Yeah,
just kicking.
Well, I mean, look, he's Batman. He immediately recognized that he couldn't hit that guy and was like, great, I'll hit this one instead. And just repeatedly hits the other guy. And it's like... so good.
It was very reminiscent of when Barry was dodging Bruce's batarang in Justice League.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the point of this movie is that it's supposed to be flashing back to a lot of scenes similar to ones in the previous movies, even if they're not in the same context.
So, let's talk a little bit about the CGI.
Okay, which CGI?
Okay, so there's two CGIs I want to talk about. Okay. One, all those babies are CGI, every single one of them.
Yeah, like
here's the thing. So bad.
Like I'm particularly bad at noticing CGI. Like I was just like, yep, they resemble babies, and that's all my brain really looked at. But I know a lot of people can easily tell bad CGI. I am terrible at it.
But I did love that scene. So the other CGI effect I wanted to talk about was when he was going back in time. You remember when he was in like a Coliseum?
Yeah.
So apparently it was supposed to look like that. They purposefully put it like that because it's supposed to be like a reflection of the real event.
Yeah. Well, and if you noticed at the end of the movie, when we see the other like timelines, when we see other like places in the multiverse, you see that they have a similar thing where it's like it's like a ring of events.
Yeah,
and so it's like I think that's what we're seeing is we're seeing the inside of that, and so you're basically standing at the bottom of this orb of events that go up, and you just as you go back, you collapse the orb further and further down. So it's like you get this like effect of like this giant coliseum of events all coming down to you.
It also seems to resemble like movie reels.
Yeah,
like,
and
really
it
old.
looked real good.
It looked
very
amazing.
very enjoyable.
But yeah, it did.
You could
I do
tell
have
it was
to.
CG. But
I
it's
could
like,
tell it was CG, but I'm not mad at the second CG because apparently
Yeah.
it was supposed to look like that. But a lot of the YouTuber I watched pointed out that a lot of people might not get that.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's a thing with CG.
Like,
a lot
I think
of people
the
are,
only bad CG point was the babies.
Yeah, with CG, a lot of people can easily pick out when something is CG and when something is not CG. And CG has gotten way better over the years. We're no longer in the age of like the Green Lantern suit, where that was very obviously CG in that movie. We're not in that age anymore. We're in the like more modern age where it's like, yeah, they like younger bro will notice it in anime where he's like, oh yeah, they CG'd the yukata to have an effect on it. So the yukata is just a blank design and it's just a effect they pasted on it. It's like, I cannot see that, but that I would be more easily able to see than some of the CG in these movies.
But yeah, all in all, besides the one scene,
all the effects
are amazing.
Yeah, they look pretty good. All the stuff with Barry and his suit and like the traveling back in time bits are always like good. I do like that they make it look like lightning because like it's the Speed Force and it's connected to lightning somehow.
And they do talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they talked about it.
It's weird though that nobody else seems to see it ever. Like, cause we're seeing it as like, here's a lightning bolt shooting down the road. Nobody else is like, they don't even get like chills most of the time. Where it's just like,
no, it's just
it's just an illusion for us and for Barry, but it's nothing for anyone else. That's just like, zoom, gone. But like, how do you not even get wind from that? If something shot past you at 50,000 miles an hour, not only should you get sonic booms, how the fuck do you not feel wind coming off that?
I think people did feel it.
Yeah,
but it wasn't just that big of a reaction. Especially, you remember the guy who got his hot dog and pizza stolen? Apparently that was the director having a cameo twice.
I was gonna say, well, and I think, okay, I actually do have an answer.
And he actually, like, he did react when his hot dog was stolen.
Yeah, but he doesn't react to, like, he doesn't get, like, blown away or anything. So I think I do have an answer, though, for how that works. It's that Barry is not moving fast. Barry doesn't have the ability to go faster. He has the ability to slow everything down. He goes at a normal speed. But the universe around him just goes slower. So it's just like, as he goes past the guy, he just walks past. He takes the pizza slice and keeps going. And it doesn't change anything about the guy, because the guy isn't moving. And Barry's not there. Like, if it makes sense. It's like, he's just walking at normal speed. He isn't generating wind, because he isn't going at 50,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, speaking of speed, I do have an interesting question.
Yeah.
So, in the past, Barry has saved people with his speed by carrying them, and it had no effect on them. In this movie,
okay, hold on, say that again. Like,
okay.
Like, he's in the past, he like carries somebody and it doesn't stop them, or
it doesn't make them throw up like Barry did when he was moved.
What I assume happened was that he moved his head and it literally like dislocated something in his neck. Like, he physically caused internal damage.
No, it was when he picked him up and moved him.
It's like, I thought it was from that part, where it was like, oh, I had to move you just a little bit, and he was moving his head, and then moved him fully. I assumed it was like he broke something. It was like,
no, that.
But yeah, like
I thought that was a little weird, but
I've not seen that before.
Sense.
Yeah, this guy is also inexperienced. By the way, if it wasn't clear, there were 2 Flashes in this movie. So,
yes.
We mentioned that very briefly momentarily.
It was in the
trailer, so you should know that, but just to make sure we're all on the same page, there's 2 Flashes. And the new Barry is very inexperienced. He's had his powers for 2 days.
Yeah, apparently Flash was there when Zod started to take over Earth, like in the Superman film, Man of Steel.
Yeah,
but he could only save 1 kid.
I was gonna say, I didn't remember if that was actually in the movie, because it's been so long since I've seen
it was
movies.
not in Man of Steel. But they were just confirming, yes, Flash was already around, because all of the DC heroes that we see in Justice League were more or less around.
Yeah, they were all
that
active.
time.
Except for Diana, who was around for much longer. But
Yeah, Diana just had, like, her history, like, kind of, like, her name just kind of devolved with history.
yeah, but she's been around for, like, thousands of years, but the rest of them were...
Victor Stone didn't
around.
have his accident until Batman v Superman
I don't know.
there.
But, yeah,
but
it's like...
it wasn't, I don't think it was during the Battle of
No.
Zod.
But, yeah, so it's like, but they were all active or becoming active around that point.
Yes. So, yeah, I found that weird.
Yeah.
But regardless. So, other thing I wanted to talk about was the antagonist. The villain.
I was gonna say, not Zod.
Not Zod. The real villain, the Speed Force villain. So,
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was the new Flash turning into Salter, which is the God of Speed from the Flash TV series.
Mhm.
I only know about him because I watched the clips of that version of Barry Allen fighting him.
Yeah.
And there is a cameo of someone who played as a Flash in that TV series, which was... remember when we saw that big black and white ball and it zoomed in on
the very original Flash.
The original Flash. That is a recast of the old Flash from the TV series. Who
I'm assuming
that actor played as. No.
Oh, okay. It's because I assumed it was way older than that.
No.
Yeah.
No, the Flash TV series I think is still currently active.
Like the black and white one?
No,
that's what
there
I'm saying.
wasn't a black and white Flash.
Yeah, okay. You're saying... I understand what you're saying now. Sorry, I thought you were saying that there was a black and white TV Flash and they recast the actor in that.
I think they
reshot
only... They put old Flash in the black and white.
Okay. I see what you're saying now. Gotcha.
In the black and white Superman because it was old Flash and that's... I guess...
They're just showing that he's been around for a while and like here's an old version of Flash.
But he was in... That actor who played old Flash was in the current Flash TV show.
I'm on the same page as you now. Yeah.
The live action one.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that could have been basically the direction they're going. Like, it's... I don't think he got far enough. Like, he was... I don't know how long he was doing that shit for, but, like, effectively they were sort of going in that direction where he was like, I must fix things. And...
But anyway.
Yeah.
So... I thought it was Salter.
Yeah.
No, it's Dark Flash.
Yeah, I'm even saying it's Dark Flash almost isn't accurate, but yeah, that's probably more accurate. It's just like
I think that's his official name. I'm not.
I was gonna say I didn't see in the credits what they called him.
But I do want to talk about how Barry made Michael Keaton's suit into a Flash suit. That was so fucking hilarious.
Let's just get some spray paint. We'll make it work.
And then
sawing
off the with a basic, like, pocket knife.
Yeah.
To make it more aerodynamic.
Yeah.
And do you remember the scene where he looked at old Barry?
I'm not.
Where he looked at Barry and the suit didn't.
Oh, yeah.
So that is a nod to Michael Keaton's Batman movies.
Because he also didn't have that happen. Or, like, he also had that same thing.
Okay. So, to explain it, I don't know if you knew this, but the reason why Michael Keaton looks so stiff in his movies is because he literally couldn't turn his head.
I was gonna say, yeah, the suit was literally like one piece effectively. It's like you couldn't turn his head.
He couldn't head, so he just looks like a robot the entire time because he's so stiff.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he's basically in solid Kevlar.
And when I saw that, I'm like, I see what you did.
I was gonna say, I didn't notice. Was he similar in this movie, or did this new suit actually have turnable necks?
Let's talk about the suits. So, do you remember the scene where it had all the suits?
Yeah, some of the I knew some of the ones in the back were old ones.
Okay, yes and no.
Yeah.
So, they had the original Michael Keaton Batman in there.
Mm-hmm.
They had the updated Michael Keaton Batman in there.
Yeah.
And the newest one that we see him wear in the entire movie is the most updated.
Yeah.
So
like that's the one that's supposed to be the current Batman suit.
So let's talk a little bit about Ben Affleck's Batman suit.
Yeah.
It was reminiscent of Batman's gray and blue suit from the comics, which I loved because I thought I saw a light blue tint, and I love that. Michael Keaton also had that in the background, which was kind of like an original Bat
As a reminder, guys, real ninjas wear blue, and Batman should also wear blue if he really wants to blend in with the night.
And the first suit was it was like a black and gray suit, which I thought was actually more reminiscent of the Lego Batman suit. Because, guys, for those of you who don't know, the first Lego Batman game was Michael Keaton's Lego Batman game. Yeah. They just didn't say.
He's just Batman.
So, the other two suits. The other two suits, there was a Desert Batman suit, which was kind of reminiscent from Ben Affleck's dream sequence they had in Justice League.
Yeah.
And there was a Batman scuba dive suit. I'm like, yes, it looks so cool.
Yeah.
I loved all the Batman suits.
Yeah,
they were Wonder Woman's. Wonder Woman's was much more colorful and more reminiscent of the cartoon Wonder Woman suit. And oh my god, the lasso of truth.
I mean, that's pretty accurate to the lasso of truth. Where it's just like the only way to stop the lasso of truth is to stop talking. Stop talking.
They tried so hard.
She's like, just don't talk about it.
Yeah, and Batman is just like, let it happen. Just don't talk about it. It's so good. So funny.
I mean, here's the thing. The stuff that Batman said, none of that was news to anyone. Like, that was just all like, yeah, that's his backstory. That's what everybody knows about Batman. So, like, at this point, he's just internalized it. Like, yep, that's just me.
Yeah, I also thought they might go into Flashpoint a little bit more. Because I thought we were going to see Reverse Flash.
No.
Nope.
Well, I think that's why they renamed it, because I think the goal of this movie is not to be Flashpoint anymore. It's just to say he went back to make a change, realized that doesn't work the way he thought it was, then came back, and things would be slightly different, but would mostly be the same. Which, actually, that's a good part to talk about. Flash didn't learn a fucking thing in this movie. He literally goes back to save his mother. Realizes, oh shit, the timelines don't work that way. You can't change the time. You can only switch timelines that you're on. And so he then is like, okay, well, I guess I can't save my mother. And then he's just like, but I can change the position of the camera for my father's trial so that I guess he changed the location of where the soup cans were. So that they could see his face. It's like, dude, the entire point of this movie was that you shouldn't change anything. Why did you change something?
Okay, let's put a pause on that conversation for a bit.
Yeah.
So in the Flashpoint cartoon as well.
Sure.
I think it was cartoon, I'm pretty sure. Diana kills whoever the leader of the what's her face?
I don't know.
The
I'm not big on the DC stuff. I'm bigger on it than I've seen more
Amazon.
of the DC stuff. Oh yeah, the Amazon Queen.
So she kills like the Amazon Queen or something. She takes over as like a ruthless leader, and she and Aquaman had a thing in Flashpoint. There's no nods to that, but Aquaman is in this movie.
I mean, he's in this movie and he's drunk off his ass, which is, I think, pretty normal.
But again, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of references to Flashpoint, but I can't go into a lot of them because I haven't seen the movie in a long time. But what I did know was this. So, you know how this whole movie is centered around Barry's mom is dead.
Yeah.
She dies.
Yeah.
We never learn who killed her.
Nope, never do.
So, do you know who kills her?
Nope, never did.
I talked about Reverse Flash a lot.
Yeah.
It's Reverse Flash. Usually, it is Reverse Flash that kills her.
Because of course. Because, I mean, I guess I understand that on some level of, like, it's one of those, like, cyclical loops of, like, events where, like, Reverse Flash needs Flash to become Flash, so his mom must die so that he can become Flash.
Yeah, so that Reverse Flash can be his... Well,
Now,
Reverse Flash is a fanboy of Flash, even though he's his
Well, see,
enemy.
I think I remember seeing this in one of the cartoons where Reverse Flash shows up. I can't remember much about it though. But yeah, like I think it's dependent on which timeline you're in, because there's a lot of weird timelines in the DCEU.
No, normally how Reverse Flash becomes, Reverse Flash is he has a similar accident in the future. He comes from the future and his favorite superhero was Flash. He did history on Flash or whatever, and he became a Flash himself, and he went back to meet his idol, and that's how he accidentally killed Barry's mom or whatever.
Because I know that they've done that with, what was it, Kid Flash? It's not Barry's son, it's the grandson. It's the one that's in, like, Young Justice.
Yes.
He comes from the future as well, I think. Like, or they have one guy who comes from the future who is not Reverse Flash. He is, like, an actual hero that just shows up.
Yeah, that's usually Old Flash.
Yeah. But it's like, so they have that happen a couple times, but yeah,
he comes from the past, not the future.
No, I'm pretty sure he came from the future in that. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Point is that, yeah, I haven't seen Young Justice in so long, and I didn't see all of it. So, I really need to rewatch that. Maybe we'll rewatch that for the channel at some point.
But, yeah, guys, so we never learn who kills Barry's mom, but it's usually Reverse Flash.
Yeah. I was gonna say, there's nothing in the...
Yeah, there's no nods to Reverse Flash. Yeah. There are nods to the Amazon, but not the Amazon in Flashpoint or the Atlanteans in Flashpoint, because the Atlanteans and maybe the Amazon don't exist in this new timeline, but that Barry found it.
Well, I was gonna say, we don't actually know that much. Well, all we know is that the universe that he found himself in is a peaceful universe. In that, like, Gotham is the safest city in the entire US. Like, there's no crime. Or very little crime. So Batman doesn't need to exist. Superman girl is locked up in, like, Siberia, so there's no Superman. And everybody else either hasn't had their experience yet or are still in hiding. So it's like there's no supers currently. Like, Diana could still be there. We don't know.
Yeah, but... and then they pull a Doctor Strange and kill everyone off.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, they have some...
Like, that timeline's heroes all die.
Yeah, because it's the... Well, to be fair...
Except for maybe future Victor Stone and future Aquaman in that timeline.
Yeah.
But they
I
all
get the feeling.
die.
Again, the problem is that the universe gets... or the world gets terraformed, so I'm pretty sure they all die anyways.
Yeah, so they kill off Michael Keaton, they kill off Kara.
Yep.
Oh my god, it was so heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's... Yeah. Well, okay, and just to be clear, was that scene an actual... was that scene actually him, like, a love scene where he's videotaping? Was the implication supposed to be that video was for her?
I think,
or was that just him being entirely nervous?
I think that was just,
because I could see it either way.
I think that was just him looking at something cool and recording it.
Yeah, it's like I could see them either way, trying to say, like, I mean, but she's hot though. So it's like I could easily see him being like Flash is a nerd, but, like, he still has an active sex drive. like just honestly, that would be an interesting... I'd actually like to see that universe.
I don't think I've ever
I don't know if that's ever happened.
Barry and Supergirl.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I've ever heard that. Like, that would honestly be an interesting universe. Like,
I don't know who Barry normally gets with, and I know Supergirl gets with somebody. Oh, in some universes, Supergirl gets with Brainiac.
Yeah, see, this is an objectively better world. gets with Flash, has a lot of very fast, very invincible kids.
I mean, that'd be cool.
Just like, it's like...
So...
But not where they go with this, because again, everybody dies.
So guys, I think this movie might be a setup for finally James Gunn's DC universe.
Because one of the critical things we know from this movie is that because he does change something, the universe is different.
So, as we were saying before, Flash went back and instead of changing things with his mother, he changes things with his father, who apparently was recast and I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I wasn't aware.
He was somebody else in Justice League, but the reason they recast him was due to scheduling issues.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like
no problem.
He couldn't make it.
Yeah, he's also probably not a high budget. Like,
and I'll be honest, I really felt for these characters in a few scenes, especially with Barry and his father, because they played
like
him he so well.
Yeah, like the father is just like, look, my wife is dead. I don't know what I'd do if I was free anyways. It's fine if I'm in there.
But I will say, this is an interesting take on Flash's backstory, because I have never heard of a Flash that resolved his father's imprisonment.
Yeah.
So this is new.
Yeah.
So new that it still fucks shit up.
Well, of course it did, because again, because in the scene where they're trying to describe this, they're using a spaghetti metaphor, and they're like, these two lines cross, you've found a point, you change something, in quotes, so that means you flip to a different strand. Some of the strands run nearly parallel. So I think this line is going to be a parallel line. Yeah, most things are going to be exactly the same.
Exactly
like,
the same.
Again, Aquaman is the same guy. Like, it's not even a different Aquaman. It's the same guy.
Yeah.
But it does mean that stuff has changed, and we don't know what's changed. So we don't know if Shazam exists. We don't know if any of these movies exist.
Yeah. Before we go into that, I just want to say, the actor who played Kara, she nailed it.
Yeah, she was great.
As soon as she got in the sun and she started kicking ass, I'm like, oh my god!
That's why I was asking if they had already done a movie with Supergirl, because I couldn't remember if they had. I think I'm thinking of the older movies.
You're thinking of the older movies.
Because I was like, this girl seems familiar.
So, like, this version of Kara is a completely new actor.
Let me see who this is. Because I know I've seen that actress before. But I can't think of who it is. But keep going.
So, like, Supergirl had some original movies that were around the same point as Christopher Reeves' Superman. By the way, guys, both Christopher Reeves and original Supergirl live action make cameos in this movie, along with Black and White Superman, that I don't remember the actor's name. Adam West makes an appearance, and they're pretty much all CGI'd, especially Christopher Reeves and Supergirl. They're CGI'd to hell. But it looked okay. Then we see a scene where Nicolas Cage is Superman and he's fighting a giant spider, which that was going to be a real thing, but it got scrapped.
I was going to say, because I saw that and was like, okay, did that really happen? Because
it was going to happen and it got scrapped. And literally the director made a joke that, okay, if Nicolas Cage is going to be Superman, by the end and it's the third act, he will fight a giant spider.
Mm-hmm.
So we see Nicolas Cage as Superman fighting that giant spider. I'm like, beautiful. So we're talking about a lot of these things with Kara and Superman. This is leading up to this third branch that Barry is currently in, which is the branch where he saves his father from imprisonment. Bruce pulls up after his father's trial. It's not Ben Affleck. Do you know who it is?
I did not know who this was.
It was George Clooney!
Gotcha. Oh, fuck. Okay. So, Okay. So, I was saying that I was like, oh, she seems familiar. She isn't from anything. Or she's from a few things. Like, she's been in, like, small time things. I think she was in, like, the Young and the Restless, like, TV drama or something. She's not been in any big movies. But what she is about to be in is an upcoming movie called Supergirl, where she is Supergirl.
Good.
So apparently they are going to continue using her as Supergirl.
Yes, that's what I was hopeful for.
Because, like, she actually was really good in the role.
So guys, let's talk about the actors that we were hopeful for keeping. I wanted them to keep Kara because she nailed Supergirl.
Yeah, she was really good in the role.
She was a fucking badass Supergirl, and I loved it. So, they're not keeping Michael Keaton. He was just there, but maybe we'll see him again. The actual Michael Keaton's Batman, maybe do another crossover.
Now here's the real question. Because the movie didn't answer this question. I'm assuming we know the answer to this question, but are we sure Bruce Wayne is still Batman in this universe?
Yes.
Because all we know is he just says, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But, like, he never actually confirmed that he is Batman. We just know he's Bruce Wayne, and it wouldn't make sense for him to be calling Barry if it wasn't Batman. But
George Clooney came back to not recast, or...
I was going to say, because George Clooney has not played Batman
Yes,
before,
he has.
Right? He has?
Yes.
Okay. Because I do not know all the Batmans. I just knew Adam West. I knew Michael Keaton. I know the one from The Dark Knight. I don't remember his name. But I knew the Ben Affleck, and there was another one that I've forgotten.
Yeah, it's the new one that I don't really care for. But, So... George Clooney comes back to reprise his role as Bruce Wayne, and so does Arthur Curry in the post-credit scene where Barry is explaining all this shit to Arthur Curry, and he's so drunked out of his mind that he passes out in a puddle of water. It's so good. So guys, right now, my speculations are off the walls. I'm wondering, since Nicolas Cage wasn't able to be Superman in the 90s like they were going to have him be, I'm wondering if he's going to be the new Superman. It seems like they're keeping Barry. It seems like they're keeping Kara.
Yeah.
And is George Clooney going to reprise his role as Batman?
Well, that's the question.
Be our new Batman.
So, I typed in George Clooney Batman, and the first thing that pops up is saying, Clooney infamously played Bruce Wayne in Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin, the ill-fated 1997 movie considered one of the worst superhero films of all time. And I'm just like, so maybe he really was just like, fuck it. If they're doing cameos, sure, I'll be Batman again. It can't be worse than the last time.
But I actually think they could do him justice.
Yeah, that's the thing.
When I saw him, my eyes lit up.
In this role, as Bruce Wayne, we haven't seen him play Batman, but as Bruce Wayne, he seemed to fit pretty fine. But he seems even older than Michael Keaton now. I don't think he actually is. I don't know how old Keaton is supposed to be.
If they did, but the scenes with Clooney, just imagine what they could do with...
Just, here.
Sorry,
James
Keaton.
Gunn. Yeah.
The
James
scenes
Gunn.
with Keaton.
The only thing I need to make sure, please do not have bat nipples. Please. Please do not put those on the new suit. That's all I've got to say.
So, if George Clooney is our new Batman, that is one hell of a way to start.
Yeah.
The reset of the universe.
Yeah. But as we said, guys, we do not know.
We don't know. We're speculating.
We don't know what's kept. All we know is that it's the same Aquaman. So that means that presumably all of Aquaman still happened. And it seems like from the few scenes we saw, the rest of the universe has mostly had the same events happen. But we don't know.
I know Ben Affleck wanted to be done playing Batman, so George Clooney coming in. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. He got out of it.
I know that the new Batman, even though he's having a trilogy, he wanted to be done with the
I was
Batman
gonna say
as well.
I think he's out.
So that's why he didn't.
I was gonna say I don't
appear in this.
That's an interesting question. Are they continuing the non-DCEU trilogy, or was that trilogy supposed to still be in the DCEU some fucking how?
The Batman, the 2022 film?
It's not much older, so but yeah, we'll go with that.
That Batman, that actor is not the reason why George Clooney is in it is because that actor didn't want to play Batman for more than 3 movies.
Yeah.
too.
But what I'm saying is, what I'm asking is, are those movies supposed to be a separate Batman from the DCEU?
Separate thing.
So okay, good. That's all I was making sure, because they weren't trying to do some weird thing where they're doing another timeline. Or, well,
however, a lot of people are speculating that they wanted that Batman to be the new Batman.
Oh yeah,
he's not going to be.
No, he doesn't. That's the thing. It doesn't. Like, I didn't see that movie, so I don't know how good that actor was.
It seemed to be okay.
But, like, if he... At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good or bad he was. If he does not want to continue being Batman, this is the problem with Batman. We have never had a Batman that stuck around. That is the problem with Batman, is that all the actors leave.
Yeah, so we're hopeful George Clooney might say.
Yeah, like Robert Downey Jr. was, I mean, he's no longer Iron Man because Iron Man's dead, but like, but he was around for a while. He was in like, how many movies did Iron Man appear in?
More than 17.
Yeah, so like he appeared in a shit ton of movies, and he did not get recast. And most of the Marvel characters did not get recast. And they showed up a lot. So yeah, that's what Batman needs, is he needs a consistent actor.
So a lot of people also liked the Joker movie.
Yeah.
And they're wondering if that Joker is going to be the new Joker.
Yeah.
And the actor for that Joker said he wouldn't be against it.
Yeah. It still saddens me that Heath Ledger cannot be... Heath Ledger was one of the greatest Jokers of all time, and it is a tragedy that he is not still around to be Joker.
Like the other great Joker was Mark Hamill in the Batman animated series.
Yeah, but
like he did the Joker so good too.
That's the thing, is there's a lot of interpretations of Joker, and a lot of them have been good.
And like the newest one had, not the Suicide Squad.
I was gonna say, not that one.
The one where he had his own movie. That one apparently was good. I haven't seen it,
I haven't
but
seen it either.
A lot of people loved it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming I'll love it too if I watch it.
That is what DC needs. The DCEU needs actors that can stay in their roles for longer than 2 movies, and a consistent storytelling focus and mind behind it. So they got James Gunn. James Gunn's taking over from here. This is it true that Blue Beetle James Gunn, or is that going to be like the last movie that James Gunn's not been a part of?
Blue Beetle might be the last.
Okay.
Because the start of James Gunn's universe is Batman and Robin. Yeah. Which may make more sense now because of George Clooney.
Because he's in there. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. So yeah. So I think what the way that we're going to look at this is, this movie is the cutoff point of Flashpoint has now shifted us into this alternate timeline. We know that Barry Allen is still this guy, Ezra Miller. We know that George Clooney is Batman, and we know that Aquaman's movie still happened. And presumably...
I'm gonna say Shazam.
Yeah, we'll see. We don't know about Shazam yet.
There's a lot of things we don't know yet.
But I would hope that Shazam still happened. I actually enjoyed Black Adam, so I'm fine if The Rock stays in it.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, I understand that people that there's a lot of people that don't, but I don't personally care if they keep The Rock. I thought he was fine, but I mean, to be fair, a lot of people probably didn't like it because all those good heroes that appear halfway through the movie fucking died.
But so I am wondering if they are going to use Nicolas Cage for the new Superman.
Oh my god, no, please.
I looked it up just to see if he was Actually, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that way.
Yeah.
I'm just hopeful. It would be
Look,
so fucking hilarious.
He got his moment. He finally got to have that fucking scene fighting a spider. So, and I think that that's enough for Nicolas Cage. I don't think he cares enough. I don't think he wants to be Superman that badly.
But it was so good.
But the fact that it happened.
It finally happened.
The universes collide and we finally got that movie.
So.
But, yeah, I am very interested in seeing where the movies go from here.
Yeah, so maybe some of the Suicide Squad is still canon.
Yeah. Honestly, here's the thing.
But what we're more interested in is who's going to know or remember the first timeline.
I think the answer is no one, because the goal behind the thing.
Well, Barry does.
That's the thing. No one but him, because he's the only person who's the same.
Now, guys, so in the comics, DC has reset their timelines multiple times.
Yeah.
Some of the characters that usually remember are Barry Allen.
I was gonna say, pretty much anyone with the Speed Force, and then, like, people that are way outside of, like, the normal timeline. Like, people like Darkseid level.
Barry Allen, Darkseid.
Yeah.
Dr. Fate, but Dr. Fate died. So
maybe.
I'm actually...
If they retcon Black Adam, then he hasn't died, because he's not around yet.
Like, guys, if anybody can wear the helm, like, Dr. Fate has been female before, and I so want to see a live action female Dr. Fate so bad.
Yeah.
So I just hope James Gunn does it good. That's what I'm hopeful for. So we'll see what happens in Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle seems like it's going to be good.
Yeah, it seems from the trailer that, again, we were forced to see the trailer given the fact that it was in the theaters before this movie. So it seems good. Like, we'll see where it goes. But that's the big thing, is they just need to nail the introductions of these characters, start them off on a good foot, and I think it'll work. This universe doesn't have, it's not that it lacks merit. There's 50 years of merit behind this damn universe.
Yeah.
You just have to get off the ground running, and they've, up till now, failed to do that.
So when James Gunn said he saw the movie and he said it's one of the best out there, I think I believe him now.
I don't, like, here's the thing. I greatly enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd say it's one of the best out there, but definitely...
He's also happy because that's his reset.
Yeah, it's like he can look at that and say, yes, I've got a place I can start, and now I can start crossing things out and saying, okay, this is what I'm keeping, this is what I'm keeping, this is what I'm keeping, the rest of this goes away. And we start from here. And he may not ever say that the old Aquaman movie is canon. He may never officially say that. It might just be on the books that this movie is the first canon movie, and then Blue Beetle's the second canon movie. Or whatever. However he handles it. But I think, given the fact that it's the same Aquaman actor and he seems to otherwise have nothing changed about him, that the contents of that movie is effectively the same. But we'll see.
Yeah, if it's in a parallel universe that is more or less the same as the first one.
Yeah. There's going to be minor tweaks here and there.
Minor changes, so.
But it looks like events are more or less the same.
So, guys, I'm very interested to see where it goes. I am actually happy for the DC universe right now.
Yeah.
So, very excited. Can't wait.
Yeah, like, I'm looking forward to it. I like Batman. I like the Justice League. I want to see these characters get a good movie series.
Just James Gunn.
And James Gunn has done the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He's very good at them. So,
yeah.
But that's the thing. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies are generally very quippy.
Oh, James Gunn will freaking live it up.
Yeah, but that's the point, is that if I worry that DC might try to push him into a darker direction, and that could cause problems. So we will see how well...
put any chains
Don't fuck with
on
James Gunn.
James Gunn.
Yeah, so
look at what they did with Zazu.
Yeah.
Do not repeat Zazu.
Yeah. But no. Yeah. So as long as DC and James Gunn are like work with each other, they make a good product, I think this universe will work out fine.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Anything else?
Let's see. As always, I hope they keep the current Alfred.
Like, yeah, we didn't actually see him.
No, we did.
Well, we saw him in the beginning.
But we didn't see Michael Keaton's
Yeah, he didn't have an Alfred because he retired or died or wasn't around.
I don't think he died. He was in Kingsman.
Yeah.
Like a few years, like the first Kingsman
movie. Yeah. No. I'm not saying the actor died. I'm just saying like in his universe.
But his universe,
Alfred might have died.
Yeah, Alfred's gone.
He's just not around. Which that is one of the things that's why I assume he died, because
yeah,
one of the things with Alfred isn't just his butler. Alfred is his father, effectively. Like that is the relationship they have of like he is the closest person to Bruce. He is the person that he can confide in. So,
but yeah,
Batman not having Alfred is basically him like isolating himself from everyone else and saying, I will stay out of society entirely. So like not having Alfred is like something has gone horribly wrong for that Batman.
Yeah, so we don't get to see even older Alfred, but I'm talking Ben Affleck's Alfred.
Yeah.
He has been one of the best Alfreds.
I mean, I liked the Dark Knight Rises Alfred, but also, like, this guy was pretty good. He seemed very good.
One of his lines that I will always find, like, fucking hilarious is, oh, do you want to be Batman's buddy? Check yes or no. From Justice League. I'm like, he's so fucking brutal. It's amazing. I love it.
Well, also, he's just like, oh, thank God, somebody else who wants to spend time with Bruce Wayne. And I might be able to do a shopping trip without worrying about him going off somewhere.
And Alfred's first reaction to Victor Stone, don't worry, Alfred, I have it from here. Do I know you? It's so fucking good. Please keep that Alfred.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
We will see what they do. Okay, guys, I think that's it for this hot take. It's a good movie. You should absolutely go watch this movie.
We nerded out.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. Still an hour, even though we didn't talk about literally every single detail in this fucking movie. We still had an hour-long
We had an hour-long of speculation.
Yeah, which is, well, not all of it was speculation, but yeah, it was. And I think if you don't speculate in this movie, then you have done something fundamentally wrong with talking about this movie. This movie's all about speculation.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. We're going to come back next time, specifically next week, with even more of the Summer Movie Blockbuster Marathon. Until then, we will see you all in the next hot take.
Goodbye.